Why do I look so puffy this morning and red? Y'all, I don't wear makeup, so people ask me, why don't you show yourself on camera? Because I just don't have time for that. Alright? I'm a mess every single day. I'm a mess. But I don't mind. I don't mind being a mess. But this does not work for us. And if it works for you, that is great. I think that's wonderful. It doesn't work for us. But we do have some changes coming I'm so excited about. I'm actually excited. My daughter's excited. She's loving teaching textbooks right now. And we're using other curriculums, so I will do a video on that soon, on all the different curriculums that we are using. So yeah. See you later, alligator. So I forgot my book of notes here. So okay, so we were in grades 1 through 5 with Abeka. So we were with them for a very long time. It seems like forever. We actually did Abeka Academy, and we actually did the accredited version of Abeka for 4 years almost, for 4 grades. I believe in like the end of 4th, we switched to unaccredited, and that was one of the best decisions that we made for that time. And accredited is where you have to pretty much check off every single thing on their list, every single thing on their lesson plans. You have to send in your tests and send in your quizzes. And there is just a lot in Abeka. There are, it's literally just it's a private school curriculum. They use it in private Christian schools, and it's actually used and made, let's see where, it is made in Pensacola, Florida. So it is for Pensacola Christian Academy, Christian College, and it is used there in their school. And the video lessons are actually recorded there as well in their school, and then you stream it or you can get the DVDs. So the first reason, well, I have it in here in no particular order actually, because it just was not working for us, and it actually wasn't working for us at the very beginning. I feel like if I knew then what I kind of know now, I probably would not have gone with Abeka. It is a great, strong curriculum. Everyone will tell you that it is an advanced curriculum. It is a good foundational curriculum. It is a great curriculum, but it is just does not work for us, and it did not work. I just don't think it's really worth it for elementary school. Now maybe for high school, because that's something that we will consider going back to if that ever comes that time. If we're still homeschooling at that time or whatnot, we will, Lord willing, go back to Abeka for high school, and we will, Lord willing, do accredited for the entire high school, so she can graduate at Pensacola, and there are some perks into that, right? But as far as elementary school goes, it is not really necessary to do accredited. Some parents do it because they want to, it keeps them on track, and it keeps them motivated to kind of like do everything that they have to do. Because if you're unaccredited like me, honestly, there are a lot of times that you're like, well, we don't need to do that lesson today. There ain't no need for it. So one of the first reasons I have written down here is the amount of books. This alone here is our history curriculum, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing some books. Like, I feel like this is a little bit. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some books, but I'm looking at the video manual here, and it shows you all the books that comes with this grade 5 curriculum. And there's, let's see, science is 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 2, 3, 4. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
So let's say about 34 to 35 books for grade 5, which is a lot of subjects. It is arithmetic, science, history. You have maps included here. You have reading comprehension. You have your readers. You have art and penmanship and whatnot. And so it is a lot. It is a lot of books, and it's a lot of curriculum. And you're also getting the video lessons. But to be honest with you, I don't have space, and it's just too much. oh my goodness, I tell you, it's just too much. Let me show you something here. This is a small book. This is the maps and activities. This is a teacher book. This is a teacher book. This is a test book. And this is teacher books here. I feel like this could have been one book. And I did see another YouTuber say the exact same thing. And I'm completely in agreement. Like, this could have been one book. A teacher manual for history. Textbook, manual, student book. That's it. So instead of having like 6 or 8 different books, you can have like 3 to 4 books. And it just comes down to a lot of stuff. And if we have to sit down and do a lesson, it's like, okay, let's gather up the books and let's sit down with a million books in front of us. And sometimes I'm not going to even use a certain book, but I need to have it there just in case, because then it's like, okay, well, let's get this book out. And it's like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know where it is. Is it upstairs? Is it downstairs? Is it over here? Is it at your desk? Is it at my... Where is the book? And that happens all the time with every single lesson that we do. And it is frustrating, and I don't think it's necessary. That seems more like a rant. But I mean, I don't want it to come off like a rant. It's nothing against the curriculum. It's a good, strong foundational curriculum. It just is too much. And I think that is another reason why we're not using Abeka anymore, and this is another reason why I found a lot of people are not using Abeka anymore, is because it is too much. It is overwhelming. I'm actually going to show you here, well, I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to tell you a test. So let's go to the last test. Test 15 of Abeka. It's chapters 10 through 16. So that's 6 chapters in one test. Now it is the last test. So, and this is 5th grade. I personally, at 5th grade, do not remember doing this much work. I don't. I know I've heard some people say, yeah, well, that's normal because, you know, you have a semester exam and you have... I don't remember doing it at this grade and at this age. So much work. And this is one subject. You also have spelling. You also have arithmetic, you also have science, you also have health. All of those things, you have tests constantly on it. So you have a lot of memorization and cramming to do. This is test 15. There are 8 pages for this one test. Need I say more? Need I say more? I believe I saw one person post say that in grade 7 or I believe it was grade 7, there was a semester exam with 16 chapters being tested. That is a lot. That is overwhelming. And yes, it is a private school curriculum, but remember, I'm a mom. I'm a homemaker. I have to cook. I have to clean. I'm not just here for 8 hours a day to teach and then do other things. There are a million other things that go on. Even while I'm doing a one-on-one lesson, I still have a toddler pulling at me because she wants this, or she wants me to go see this, or she wants me to do that. And toddlers don't understand the concept of just give me 1 minute. They don't understand that concept. So it becomes a lot, and a lot of memorization and a lot of cramming. Spelling, I don't have the book right now, but spelling is about 30 words, 30 to 35 words, I believe, of spelling words and vocabulary words every single week. They have a new list of 30 to 35 words of spelling and vocabulary. The vocabulary is about 10 words, and then the spelling is about 20 to 25. So it's just a lot. It is a lot. It is a traditional school setting because this was made for a traditional school. So if that's not something that you want, then this is not going to work for you. And I found out that that's not what I want. That's not what's working for us. The video lessons, what we did, another one is that they moved too quickly. The students watching were the ones answering, and this is actually something that I talked about recently with teaching textbooks, because that's what we're doing now. We're gonna go back to Abeka. We may even continue with Abeka for next year, but right now we're doing teaching textbooks. And the price of teaching textbooks compared to Abeka, I can actually use teaching textbooks as a little supplement to help review and all these things, and that's still cheaper than just Abeka. But anyways, the video lessons, they move very quickly, and the teacher is teaching a class. So if you are at we went to display, and we were not planning on doing the video lessons. We were planning on using just the books, and they had a large screen there where they showed the video lessons going on. And it was like, oh, what's that? Okay, this might be interesting, because now she has a different teacher. She might have a different level of respect, and she might have a different level of motivation or whatnot. So we went with video lessons. And well, the teacher is teaching a classroom of, I believe, 20 to 24 students. And they will every so often look at the screen and be like, okay, students watching, what is X, da 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 da, ask a question. And the students answer. They wait a few minutes, and then a student in the classroom will actually answer. And your child, if they understood the concept, if they even got the question, now they could rewind. But let's be honest, your 10-year-old, 11, 12-year-old child, they want to be done. Every child, they want to be finished with this. They don't want to sit there and be like, what did the teacher say? Let me go back and see. No, they would rather skip the question, just ignore it, because a lot of times too with the video lessons, my daughter has on headphones, because with all the other noise going around and another toddler running around and whatnot, she has on headphones, so I'm not even hearing what's going on. And so she skips a lot. And guess when it comes down to time for me to finding out that she doesn't have a clue what's going on in class, it's when it's time for the test. And then it's like, why are you getting so many things wrong? She doesn't understand. And now we have to go back 5 to 10 lessons and take another 2 to 3 hours to review some concepts that should have been learned. But again, it's a classroom setting, and she's not there in that classroom. And yes, you can use it. You can, if you have a child that can utilize that to the best of their advantage and their everything. But I feel like most children are not going to do that. Most young children. Now, if you're older, again, this is something that we would consider doing for high school, because if you're older and more motivated and you have more, understanding of school, not just I want to play all day, every day. The hands-off parent-child relationship, which is something that I actually wanted when I started homeschooling, was a hands-on approach with my daughter to build a relationship, a learning relationship together. And Abeka Academy does state that you can still be involved in your child's education even though you are doing video lessons. And sure, of course you can. You can do it, whatever you want to do, right? But at the end of the day, you don't have time. The video lessons, especially if you're doing accredited, you take close to 8 hours a day. There's no way for you to supplement or anything with that. So you don't really have that option. I didn't have that option. Could I have tried harder? Yes. But again, I'm burnt out at the end of the day. I'm worn out. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't have time to sit there and be like, okay, let's go and do an arts and crafts project together. Let's go and do some poetry together. Let's go read a book together. I'm done. Like, I just want to sit in the bathroom and lock the door and just, nobody talk to me right now, please. Like, I'm tired. Do you know that feeling? I don't know, y'all, but that's what it feels like. There was no hands-on approach for me. At the end, when we switched to unaccredited, I started doing one-on-one subjects with her. We did history together, we did science together, and it was just read from a textbook, answer some questions, do a quiz and a test. And that was really it. You can go further into discussion, you can go look up resources, you can go to the library, get more books. But again, this is already so much. It's overwhelming, it's so much. It's just, let's move on. Time consuming. Again, it took us 8 hours a day. We switched to unaccredited and it still took us about 5 hours a day. We cut out all of the busy work and it still took us about 5 hours a day. Now, when they're younger, they have all the seat work and all these different things. We never even did all those things. And it still took us about 5 hours a day because the video lessons are alone. Some are 20 minutes, some are 30 minutes, some are 40 minutes. Then you have your worksheets to do on top of that. Then it's time consuming. Another one is the price point. If you use the entire curriculum, you will save. You will save much more than just doing individual subjects. if you're doing video lessons, because this is what we've done. If you just buy the books also, they're also kind of pricey. Now you can buy them used, and Abeka does update their program every several years or so. So you have to make sure that your used books are going to line up with their brand new consumables that they have, your worksheets and your tests, etc. But I was looking at the prices the other day because we are currently changing our curriculums, and teaching textbooks, for example, is about $60 to $70 for grade 7, 6 or 7 or something. I could be wrong, but around that price point, less than $100 for just their math online program. Now if you go and buy the books, that's like over 100, a little over 100, less than 200. Abeka is $350 with the video lessons and the books. Still not a bad price. Actually not a bad price at all for just arithmetic. My plan was I wanted to stick with Abeka arithmetic because I know that if we come back to it, she might be behind if she goes in other programs, because this is an advanced curriculum. At grade 4, I think she was starting equations and stuff like that, like little pre-algebra things they'll push in here and there. So, but it is pretty pricey. There are a lot of other curriculums out there that are much more affordable, especially if you have multiple children. Another thing with Abeka as well is that these are copyrighted books, all books, you know what I mean, that's fine, that's good. However, they do not want you to reproduce this or use this with multiple children. Now the textbooks you can, and even the consumables, they don't want you reprinting it. No part of this publication may be reproduced or transmitted in any form by any means. And then it goes on with electronic, mechanical, photocopy, anything. So you can't even photocopy this and use it for other children. You have to go and purchase another one. If you are using the video curriculum, you have to use, you're paying a tuition. So you have to pay 2 tuitions. Teaching textbooks, you can add multiple children to your account. The good and the beautiful, you can make photocopies and reuse it as much times as you want. So that is also a drawback if you have multiple children, because it can be kind of pricey and you don't have that option of reproducing it, which is fine. I get that. It is an actual legit school that this is being taught at, and but whatever, you get my point. Another one is Cursive at an early age. Cursive at an early age. They will tell you about studies being done, and I know I've heard it all for the last how many years. I do not think that that is the best approach. I just don't. And I know parents as well who have been in the same situation as me. I feel like when you talk about cursive at an early age, some people they're definitely pro cursive at an early age, and there are people like me who are, no, I don't believe in it at all. Now when we first sign up for the video, and if you do sign up for the video, you do not have the choice of manuscript or cursive. It has to be cursive. If you choose to do this on your own without the video, you can choose manuscript. However, even if you are in kindergarten and you choose to do video lessons, you are learning cursive. Your child is learning cursive. And that is crazy. That is, to me, absolutely insane. I know that they say there are studies, and the studies that they're showing you are pretty much the same people who wrote the curriculum that have the studies. So I mean that it may be a little bit biased, but from my experience, I actually learned cursive around 3rd grade or so is when I learned the cursive, and that worked well. Why? Because I mastered print. And I feel like a lot of parents will actually agree on that as well, is that master print first before you move on to something more advanced. I believe in teaching cursive 100%. I think it's very important, and I think it's beautiful. I write in cursive a lot. But again, I mastered print first. And from experience, my daughter started, when we started, I did pre-K and K and whatnot at home, and we did manuscript because there was no way I'm going to teach my 3-4-year-old cursive without. And their idea is that they're writing cursive, but they're reading print, so they'll still know what print looks like. But believe it or not, they may know what it looks like, but they just, in their mind and in their head, they don't really know how to form it. So my daughter would actually choose to write in print, and her print was terrible. Her cursive was beautiful, but her print was like chicken scratch foot. Chicken foot scratch? Chicken scratch? I don't know. You know what the saying is. I don't know if you even know what the saying is. But it was terrible. And another thing is that she would constantly be putting capital letters in the middle of a word. So she would have cat, or she would have, let's say, a longer word like apple. I mean, that's not really that long, but that's what I can think about right now. She would have a capital A. She would put most capital letters in there because that's what, I don't know, she just didn't know how to format lowercase y properly. She didn't know how to, even though she was like in grade 3, she didn't know how to do it because she's constantly writing in cursive all the time, and that's just, it's, to me, master print, then move on to cursive. It's that simple. You don't have to make it a big fuss or deal about it. Another thing is, and I'll try and insert some pictures here and there as I'm talking. Another thing is cramming. Again, as I talked about earlier, you have all of this going on. You have a test with 6 chapters or 8 chapters or 10 chapters or 16 chapters that you have to study for, and this is just history. You also have science, another test with 10 chapters to study for. You have spelling, another test with 30 words. You have Bible, a memorization of 40-something verses in the Bible. You have arithmetic, all of these different formulas. You have, what else? We didn't really do the reading. We stopped with the reading. We stopped with the penmanship. We stopped with all of those things because we just didn't have the time. And I couldn't do it anymore. I really couldn't. So the cramming, to me, she was not retaining any information whatsoever. It is a spiral curriculum, so they go back and do lots of review, but at the same time, she was not retaining or learning anything. So it didn't even matter. Study, put it on paper, and forget about it. That was what's cramming. That was what's just, I have to get this right for the test, and then it's just, whatever. So those are some reasons why Abeka did not work for us. Another reason why, also with their cursive, is if you choose to do their accredited program, their grading for cursive is almost ridiculous. I'm sorry, I know people are going to be like, I've seen some people very supportive of it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. My daughter is not a computer, and she cannot write every single thing perfect and to the line with a perfect slant. And I was so proud of my daughter. I was so proud of her the first grading period, because the first week or so when we started cursive in first grade, there were tears. She would cry. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. And that's another thing. And it was kind of my fault too at the same time, because I feel like I doubted. I was like, no, why are they teaching cursive this young? And she kind of caught on my emotions on that, and then she got in her head, oh, I can't do this, I'm too young, or whatnot. So that was my fault. I own that. And if you are in this position, just encourage them. If you have to do it, just encourage them that they can do it, and they could do it, and she did do it. But again, when it came to her print, 3 grades later, 2-3 grades later, she was really bad at it. And she chose to write in print. But I was so proud of her. She did so well after a few weeks. So beautiful. And I'm going to insert some pictures. And I was like, oh, she's gotten an A. This is so good. Congratulations. You got an A on your first writing test. And that was me grading it. And we were accredited. So I sent the tests to Abeka, and they regraded themselves. And she did not get an A. And to me, I'm like, this child was crying. She did so well. I'm so proud of her. And if you see her writing, it's amazing. She never got an A. She never got an A in Abeka for her writing. And I think that's really for a Christian company who teaches grace and stuff like that. I find like penmanship is something that everyone has different, and everyone has a different style and different, yes, you learn a specific way and you write a specific way regardless of your differences. But don't be so strict on your writing grades. There are other things important in life. But those are some reasons I hope it's helpful. Nothing against the curriculum, it's just not working for us. It did not work for us from the beginning, but I was comfortable with it. I knew about it, and it is a good curriculum, so I was just comfortable. And it made our life miserable. the relationship that I have with my daughter and had with my daughter during school was more of fighting and arguing to get the work done than enjoyment. And I know no curriculum is going to be perfect, and no curriculum is going to be like, oh, well, I love school so much, I can't wait to do school. But there are some curriculums that you can enjoy at least a little bit. So I hope that is helpful. This is why we're not using Abeka. If you use Abeka, if you are a die-hard Abeka fan, just understand that this is my experience. Just understand that this is from my perspective, and it just doesn't work for us, and that is okay. Because I've also seen a lot of parents, a lot of moms in the same exact situation, totally overwhelmed and just had enough. So I respect everyone's opinion, because I do know this is an amazing foundational curriculum. I do know that this is something I would like to come back to. But at the moment, for my young child, it is not working. And that's just us, so. And this is it.